Hi, this is Shabani and you're watching Samsung Galaxy Note, India's Glam Diva. Join us as we explore women of strength, women of substance and women who have made us all sit up and pay attention. Yes, that's right, they are the divas of India and their stories will have you inspired and wanting for more. They say when it rains, it pours. Well, it has been raining divas on this show, and we're giving you front row seats to see what the excitement's all about. 14 charismatic divas over 14 enticing weeks, and of course, you at home deciding who is worthy enough to be hailed as Samsung Galaxy Note, India's Glam Diva. Got matter on your mind? Well, then it's time to put your mind over matter, and that is what Rajiv Masant, our mind guru, is here to help you do. Shina NC is here to broaden your horizons with all things body and image related as our resident body guru. So with the body and mind taken good care of, there is only one place to head now, and that is, of course, to the wealth of wisdom that is Shamak Davar, our 1 in a million resident soul guru. And speaking of millions, here's a lady whose affiliation with the word million has taken her from the streets of Mumbai to the planet of the apes. Well, with a few stops in between, she's met a tall, dark stranger, bonded with her first ever co-star, picked up a few awards along the way, and has never looked back. Jai-ho to that, and jai-ho to the girl who dreamt the big dream and is living it. You can feel it. Born into a humble family, Frieda Pinto dreamt the big dream, but like most of us, was baffled at the magnitude and speed at which it unfolded. A little-known model from the suburbs of Mumbai has risen much like her film, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, to the very top of her game, to the proverbial big league, playing with the big boys of cinema. Her father is senior bank manager and her mother the principal of a high school would have been more than happy with their youngest daughter diving into the pool of banking or teaching.
You know, when you say, what are you going to be when you grow up? It always changed. It always changed. When I was really little, my uncle was in the army, my grandfather was in the army, so I said, I'm going to join the army. Then my mom told me that I have flat feet and I won't be able to run too fast, and I have vision problems, so they won't accept me in the army. There goes my plans to join the army. And my mom always used to tell me that one thing that remained constant was I was a big drama queen. You know, I would stand in front of the mirror and pretend like I was this person from television and that person and imitate everybody else that I'd seen on TV. And she said that thing was such a constant that it was kind of, you know, a thing that was probably brewing within, and all I needed to do was kind of realize it. So I decided I'll give myself a deadline. Let's do this till I'm 25 or 26, still trying very hard, and then I'll probably get into wedding planning.
But of course, Destiny had her own plans, and it's probably safe to say that Mr. and Mrs. Pinto are more than happy that Destiny had her way. Along came Slumdog Millionaire, and without a doubt, she became Destiny's poster child. A transformation so fast from complete anonymity to one of the newborn queens of Western cinema that the world had no choice but to sit up and take notice. And take notice they did, bringing to her doorstep offer after offer and admiration from some of the biggest names in the world of both films and fashion. How she did all this from pre-Slumdog days to where she is right now is all revealed as we look into the mind that is Frieda Pinto. We've all heard the stories post-release of Slumdog Millionaire, but before the film began its rounds of auditions and stumbled upon Frieda Pinto, where was this beauty hiding and how did Destiny tickle her fancy? Frieda signed up with Elite Model Management and, like all models, began the endless rounds of auditions and meetings in order to achieve that one break, that one chance to be seen and taken seriously.
Every time you meet a new person, you sit and talk about, the things that they need to improve. But I remember in my first meeting with Frieda, she walked in and she said, "Hi, I'm Frieda Pinto." And my first words to her were, every time we meet someone new, there's something to improve. You're the first person I've met where there's nothing to improve. We'd be glad to represent you. You're the finished product.
The struggle had begun, but soon enough, Frieda's ambition and hard work, or perhaps that sheer number of auditions that she went to, brought her to the notice of many ad agencies and secured her with several television ads. With her face doing the circuit of casting rounds, Frieda added to her commercial noticeability with ramp shows and an international travel show called Full Circle in the years 2006 to 2008. At this stage of the game, Full Circle was her biggest claim to fame, taking her around the Asia-Pacific region to countries like Malaysia, the Fiji Islands and Thailand, to name a few, giving her a little taste of the lifestyle to come.
I'm a real woman, true as one can be. I'm a real woman, I'll make you see.
I think would be most embarrassing for me if someone found out was if someone kind of somehow found a video of me being Teletubby when I was 17. One day I think the boy who was supposed to be in the Teletubby suit decided to disappear, and they said, okay, so who can we find? And I was part of that event management company, but I was helping with other things, and they said, get Frieda and put in the Teletubby suit. And I was in the suit and entertaining the kids and making them laugh and being all chubby and everything, and I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing.
With her face now relatively recognizable and her dreams of finally taking a dive into the pool of films nudging her more and more, Frieda very artfully chose to immerse herself in the intensive and very exclusive Barry John Acting Studio. She was under the guidance and expertise of Barry John, the country's most renowned theatre director. The 3 months she spent at Barry John's acting studio was a turning point in her road to success. This inspiring course, where she spent day and night immersed in all things acting, gave her the confidence and mindset to begin her rounds of acting auditions for the first time ever. After 6 months of unsuccessful Bollywood auditions, with rejection after rejection, Frieda Pinto was just about to throw in the towel and take up work in event management. Then suddenly a casting director came knocking her way. That casting director was Loveleen Tandon, and she saw a freshness in the Mumbai model, along with her relative obscurity, which was exactly what Danny Boyle was looking for.
I was a model for 2.5 years. I was modeling with an agency back in India for 2.5 years, and I was a presenter for a travel show. So I traveled all over Southeast Asia, and the film was the first that ever happened to me.
I don't think anyone imagined the success that Frieda would have, not even Frieda herself. I think that she just wanted to be as successful as she could be, whether as a model or whether as an actor. I think we always knew that she wasn't going to be a Katrina Kaif kind of Bollywood heroine, but she wanted to be taken seriously as an actor and as a model. And I think she was just looking for guidance to be the best that she could be.
I'm a real woman, I'll make you see.
Frieda Pinto is the perfect example of being at the right place at the right time. Here was a girl that India didn't even know. Here was an Indian girl who nobody really knew. She'd been a model, a small-time model. She'd tried her luck in the movies, didn't have much luck. And then came this steamroller called Slumdog Millionaire, which really brought this girl out of anonymity to overnight stardom.
It was a very small role that the filmmakers were offering Frieda, but it was experience nonetheless. And in the name of acting, Frieda accepted the part and started the work.
It was a small role that she really sort of took advantage of. It's a film that broke out with the Golden Globes and then the Oscars, and Frieda Pinto became the one name that was on everyone's lips. I think she used that opportunity to her advantage. I think that actresses like Aishwarya, actresses like Preeti Zinta have had these opportunities in the past. Shilpa Shetty have had that sort of opportunity to break out, have had that sort of flirtation with global attention, but they never were able to exploit it in the manner that Frieda Pinto did.
With endless awards and attention, the path seemed set. Or was it? The film's success was merely a means to an end for the ambitious and intelligent Frieda Pinto. She realized that it was the very success of the film that required the biggest plan of action to come into play, and it is this moment in Frieda's life that defined where she is today. Now crowned as the highest paid Indian actress in the world, Frieda Pinto used her newfound success to immediately get the best representation and managers in town.
As far as her acting roles are concerned, she's doing a very interesting balancing act. On the one hand, she's making sure she's in big blockbuster movies like Rise of the Planet of the Apes and films like Immortals, where she may not have very much to do, but those are big budget blockbuster movies that people will notice her in.
Frieda cleverly stayed in LA, only ever visiting India to see her family, and began her play at maintaining her glory. Frieda began to think sharply. She used her fame to attend every event, to show herself to her peers in the industry, and before long, she was sought after by the hottest managers in LA. With the backing of a fantastic team of stylists, managers, publicists, and people in the know, Frieda began her real work.
On the other hand, she's also making sure that she gets an opportunity to work with filmmakers that matter. So whether it's someone like Woody Allen in a film like You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger, whether it's a film like Miral, where she played the title role in a film by the director Julian Schnabel, I think she's balancing herself very well. She's a very smart girl. I think she's used that advantage, she's used that opportunity to her best advantage.
Post Slumdog, Frieda went into PR overdrive and got the optimum amount of publicity possible. All her PR skills came into work, and soon Frieda was able to add endorsements like Estee Lauder and L'Oreal to her repertoire of work, charging millions per contract.
Now to come into the big L'Oreal family and tell other women that they're worth it, it really means a lot to me, because you're worth it.
She's a smart girl and is carving out a very respectful, successful and balanced body of work.
And I think she's really, truly a bigger star than even Aishwarya Rai in the world. I think that she is someone who now the West knows, and she is really India's ambassador to Hollywood, more than any other actress has been able to take advantage of.
Although she is very proud of her Indian roots, her sensibilities have always been rather Western. And nonetheless, she has not forgotten that it was the West and not back home that has embraced her.
She very clearly realized that she's not going to have much of a career in India. That her looks, her approach, her style of speaking, her sensibility is not suited for Bollywood film. She understands that there is an opportunity in the West because the West has no preconceived notions about her. In India, she's always seen as this girl who didn't make it in Hindi movies. And she decided she didn't want to go down that road anymore.
Coming up after the break, we see how Frieda's body of work has a lot to do with her beautiful body, and how this little-known diva moves so fast, she had all our heads spinning. But right now, I think it's time for a healthy, Lay's-baked break.
You kind of sign this deal, like a contract, saying, I am going to get into this film industry and all these things are going to be part and parcel of my life. I wouldn't say they're acceptable, but that's what happens.